Good afternoon, South Africa. My name is Palisa Dembe, and I am back in the heart of Johannesburg in Newtown Junction, where Old Mutual has erected an incredible hub called the AMPD Studios. But this is just more than a studio, more than recording, more than music. And here to shed some light, of course, is Old Mutual's head of financial education, Mr. John Manyike. John, why Old Mutual? Why music? A lot of people are a bit confused at the collaboration. Yeah. And where does financial advisory come into all of this?
You see, artists are in the business of entertaining us, but nobody seems to be in the business of, entertaining the financial difficulties that artists are going through. The love-hate relationship between record labels and artists, and coupled with the fact that there are a lot of artists who are extremely famous and also extremely broke, but they suffer in silence. And we saw a gap, and this is the role we want to play as Old Mutual and as a responsible business, to educate artists, the rising stars and some of the young artists about, what are the things that you need to be concerned about when you break into the industry.
Absolutely. And why is sustainability so important?
Yeah, look, I think it's about building a legacy. Like they always say, if you're failing to plan, you're planning to fail. So it's very important that we start looking at what are the things that you need to look at. You need to speak to a financial advisor, have a financial plan, and because you need to plan for the future. Yeah,
absolutely. Planning for the future is so important. And part and parcel of planning for the future is staying power. I mean, it doesn't matter what industry you're in, whether it's music, whether it's financial advisory, whether it's selling homes. Yeah. You need to make sure that you make a very strong stamp and you stay for however long you want to.
Absolutely. That's very important. I mean, if you look at a lot of artists that they run into financial difficulties. The next thing, they're in the streets, they're living back home with their parents in the back room somewhere. And that's sad to look at that. And that's why somebody needs to stand up there and say, how do we empower you to actually plan for your future, to build a legacy for yourself and for your family? And I think that's good for South Africa.
It is good for South Africa. And another thing that's good for South Africa is the AMPD Studios, where we find ourselves today. When are we expecting the grand opening where the public can come enjoy the facility?
Yeah. End of July, this place is going to be open to the public, and we're looking forward and excited about the prospects of empowering young people.
Absolutely. Well, empowerment is what it's all about. Thank you so much, John, for shedding some light on such a beautiful, beautiful initiative. I'm so glad to be a part of it, and trust Afternoon Express to be bringing you the story live. But for now, we're heading over to a commercial break, so do not move a muscle. After the break, we're back in the loft with Jeannie. Mwah!